Hi, Anna. I'm Shannon. I'm currently living in Virginia, but I used to live in North Carolina. So I was really excited to listen to your video discussion. And I appreciate your thorough analysis of the informed consent within the context of North Carolina counseling practices. And I wanted to give you kudos because you really raised an important point where you have an absence of a professional counselor's signature line on the informed consent document you reviewed. Your observation was very well supported when I started doing some literature reviews. Welfare in 2021 emphasized that informed consent is not only a client acknowledgement, but also professional affirmation that the counselor has explained services, ethical limitations, and their client's rights. The counselor's signature serves as documentation of ethical accountability and demonstrates that informed consent is an interactive process rather than just a passive formality or a one-time thing. From an ethical perspective, the absence of a counselor's signature line may really weaken that document and putting all the responsibility onto the client and not a joint relationship between the client and the counselor. And the counselor really needs to have that facilitating role that the client understands what is going on. This concern also aligns with the ACA Code of Ethics, as you also mentioned in your video, which stresses that counselors are responsible for ensuring that informed consent is clearly communicated and appropriately documented, not just merely obtained. In practice, the inclusion of a counselor's signature line provides legal and professional protection by demonstrating compliance with ethical standards and state expectations, which kind of surprised me because you mentioned that she had her referrals and complaints listed, so that would correlate right there. It also reinforces that informed consent was reviewed collaboratively and supports the continuation of care should documentation ever be reviewed by supervisors, auditors, licensing boards, things like that. You also correctly noted that a counselor's signature line strengthens the informed consent process by reinforcing professional responsibilities, ethical transparencies, and regulatory accountability. Your identification of this missing component definitely shows the importance of careful documentation and reflecting strong ethical awareness in the counseling practice. Great job. It was so great working with you on this project. Take care.